Lockdown Beauties with Jessi Pierce and Kirsten Krull. Two hockey minds trapped in bodies that can't skate. They may have never laced them up, but they'll break it all down with sharp takes and plenty of laughs. This is Hockey Talk, the Beauties way.
Hello, welcome to our first live post-game of the Olympic Winter Games here in 2026. I'm Jessi, he's Judd, he's AJ, the crossover you guys have all been dreaming of, night in and night out. Kirsten will be joining us when she can. I might even tag her out. We might do a tag team thing here, because I actually have a hot date tonight, which is a little wine tasting, which now we get to do in celebration because the U.S. has defeated Latvia 5-1 in their preliminary game. But guys, that score isn't necessarily indicative of what we all witnessed. Tough first period after they had some seemingly momentum going. 2 disallowed goals due to challenges, which let's save it all for that. But they finally pieced it together, a dominating second period, and then the goals start pouring in after a goalie change for Latvia. First of all, how are we all feeling? Judd, Age, what were the initial reactions? As we saw on the screen grab that I took earlier, I'm not that impressed with this victory. Wow. I'm sorry. I know, I'm high.
Wow. Well, I think that the first period, the disallowed goals, I thought both calls were accurate calls. Second period, the U.S. got rolling. And I mean, it's such a weird game because one, you should win, no question about it. But two, it's your first game. So like the first period for teams ordinarily in a tournament like this is sort of a feeling out period, not just with your opponent, but like with your teammates as well, because you don't know what to expect. So I wouldn't say like I was blown away. Like Canada looks like a freaking juggernaut. I wouldn't say I was blown away by what we saw. But that being said, I thought it was fine. Like I predicted 10-1. It was 5-1. It could have been more. Mm-hmm. But you know, the only thing that concerns me about this is the fact that this goes back to what we talked about, which is they're in a group where I don't know that these games are going to tell us a ton. Like it's this game, Latvia, it's Denmark, Germany, which won 3-1 against Denmark this afternoon, playing at the same time. So I guess what I don't know is, Age, what are these 3 games going to really tell us? Because it's not like it's not like you're in a pool where there's some real competition. So I don't know how to judge it exactly, but I thought it was fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I'm not taking you fought the adversity with the challenges and you come back for a 5-1 win over Latvia all that seriously. Like you should win. Even if they disallow 7 of your goals, still 5-1 at least. But I do like the answer from that first period into the second, because I think they made it maybe a little harder on themselves than it needed to be in that first. And I don't know if I was sitting there on the couch thinking, wow, this is going to be a struggle and, you know, it's going to be an ugly one. What's the silver lining that we're going to be able to pull? And then they come out for the second. I mean, Elvis Merzlikins, I think he had 30 seconds total of like downtime in that second period. The guy he got pulled not because of poor performance, I think, but because he was just probably exhausted. They really laid it on, and that was awesome to see. It wasn't like the best win, like Judd said. I think 10-1 probably would have been more where I was expecting, but they showed that it was a slow warm up, and then they finally kind of hit a groove. I do have some instances of too Globetrotter-esque. Granted, there was the one that was just beautiful, knocked my socks off passing play on the second Brock Nelson goal. But at the same time, there were other instances where just shoot the puck. Like Jack Hughes, no need to look to the back door for Jake Gensel. Just shoot the puck. This
Eichel
is Latvia.
Too. Mm-hmm. Eichel got.
I thought Eichel was going to bury that on a couple instances. I was like, oh, beautiful. I'm like, wait, what are you doing? Why are you going for that second pass? And it's exactly what we talked about earlier this week on Judd's Hockey Show. My concern wasn't in net for the U.S. My concern wasn't on the back end for the U.S. at all. It was the lack of offensive output, because these guys are not some of the most natural scorers. They're really good at getting those passes and being those playmakers, which is super important too. But who's there to finish? Who's going to be getting that final shot in sometimes, right? It was just kind of frustrating to see that come to fruition, right? Like it was just so irritating, because the problem is too, I watched Canada this morning and I watched what they were able to do and just kind of ho-hum down and score again. And it was just so almost effortless sometimes. And it's not going to be that way when it comes to, again, the offensive production for Team USA.
Brock Nelson, in my opinion, first star. I thought he was great. I thought he fit. And I think part of it is because also, I don't think he cares about passing as much. I'm serious. There's a lot of guys now, and I think it's a generational thing. I really do, because I complained about it with the Wild. I complained about it just now. I think you got because these guys play together on like all-star teams, right? And like and it feels like they're all trying to like have these just incredible passing plays. Brock to me strikes me as just a kid from War Road who's going to get in front of the net. He's going to shoot the puck. I loved his engagement, like down to the disallowed goal, which he tipped in, and that was on Miller, who bumped the goaltender and got in front, which you got to stay out of there, dude. This is the Olympics. But anyway, long story short, I thought, like, if I am looking for really positives, the Brock's play and the Tage Thompson goal, as we just got a comment on, that's a big league goal. He loses the puck, he gets it back, and he's got that size, and he roofs it. That was a gorgeous goal. I love that goal. And again, didn't need to be a play where it's all pretty, but that's a big time goal by him.
I think Brock Nelson just shoots the puck more because he's 68 years old. He doesn't know when his last shift is going to be.
How can he look
I
so
was just
old?
going to say, he needs to like assert himself. Not to mention, you look at the Colorado team that he plays on. He's just trying to be like, hey guys, look at me over here too.
How does he look so old?
He looks like the
That's what playing in
the
the
Hobie
aisle
Baker
does.
came to life, right? Like he looks like any of those old time pictures came to life.
Abe Lincoln.
Yeah.
He looks like Abe. I just don't know how he looks so old. Like he looks like he could have played on the team in 80.
With his uncle?
Yes, he looks like, I mean, seriously, he looks like I was impressed there. And I do think, though, for the Denmark game, I do think that we're going to see a little bit more continuity develop. But then, just to your point, after watching Canada, if those two teams meet, I'll be very curious, because that freaking Canadian team looks like it's just going to roll.
I mean, the good news is you have Quinn Hughes, right? And I'm not saying that just as a Minnesota Wild fan anymore. Yeah. You have Quinn Hughes, who is going to accelerate that offense, as we witnessed even on his goal that was recalled, right? Like, he is going to be that guy that's going to generate the offense for you. So that is great. Brock Faber, nice shot, as you mentioned, on Brock Nelson's redirect there too. That came off a Faber shot, who has that confidence there too. Yep. I think there is that to be said. You are going to get some additional points from that back end, but still, there's just not enough gumption sometimes to go to the net and do that. And you're right. And JT Miller, unfortunate circumstance, he didn't realize that there is zero tolerance for coming near a goaltender at the IIHF level, right? Which I think maybe all of us learned a lesson, because that's probably a position that he is there 90% of the time, if not more, with the Rangers, right? Or with any team that he's ever played with. That is his spot. He's setting up just as he would in any other situation. And good on the Latvia coaches is to be like, nah, we're going to call that one. We're going to take that one back. Because the thing is, Elvis wasn't stopping that Nelson redirect either. There was no chance, no shot in hell that was getting denied. How do you guys feel about Hellebuyck? How are we feeling about goaltending? Again, wasn't poor by any stretch. It wasn't under, it was just kind of there, right? And he didn't have to do a heck of a whole lot. There were certain situations, and obviously they get that goal early on after the second disallowed goal for Team USA. But Age, what do you think about Helly and what they do there?
Yeah, Hellebuyck, I mean, 17 saves on 18 shots. In the one that he did let in, it was kind of a weird broken play right in front of him with that, I believe it was the Faber, and then I think it was his normal pairing with, was it
I think Boldy misplayed a puck off the back wall, I think, if I recall. Okay. Or it was a weird bounce that he wasn't able to get to, so it kind of fell on him. But then, yes, Faber would have been kind of that second guy there, but I saw the first mistake kind of was a mishap play by Bolds.
Okay. Well, don't tell Phil this, but I was in a meeting with him, and so I was like side-eyeing the game while we were talking.
What's he doing calling a meeting during the Olympics?
Yeah,
during hockey. He can call it any other time. You can miss any other event besides hockey.
The event we were talking about was pretty important, so I understand. But yeah, it's sorry, what was that?
My raise?
Or it was mine. That's the more important.
Oh, okay.
Sure ain't mine. That's
could have been both of us.
But I thought about as much as you can take away in a 5-1 win over Latvia as possible. Like, there's not a lot to go off of here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They had some chances for sure, but at the same time, the defense, I thought, looked pretty solid besides that one instance. I mean, we know the narrative around Connor Hellebuck is he's fine up until the really big moments. Like, NHL-wise, until you get to the playoffs, he is the best guy maybe in the history of goaltending. But as soon as you get there, he is the exact opposite. He's, he puts the hell in Connor Hellebuck because that's where he is all the time. The problem here, and Judd and I have talked about this, and I know, Jessi, you brought this up on the Wednesday show on JHS. They played Denmark, they played Germany. I don't know if you really are going to see much of anything that can be like a pull away or a takeaway until maybe that Germany game, because they do have the top two centers there, I think, are good. And they have a few guys in that top six, but otherwise I don't expect much of a challenge against Denmark. Like, what if you don't win by double digits, that's maybe the takeaway, but for the most part, you're not going to see anything until after the preliminary rounds.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be hard just as an entire team to get a true read, because it would be nice to get one team, especially in pool play where you can't be knocked out. Mm-hmm. It would be nice to get like a really hard game, but you're not going to. So on goaltending, there's a couple things here. First of all, it is very interesting that the Canadians have Binnington in goal, and he's had a terrible season. The Blues stink, but he's had a terrible year, but he's such a big game goalie that he's being used. And then Hellebuck, same type of thing, where the Jets have been very up and down, and he is not playing as well, certainly when he was outstanding a year ago. So he's not had as good of season. But I found it interesting today, you guys, that not that he started, but that Ottinger was the third goaltender and Swayman was second. I thought Swayman was now I don't think that the Otters had a great year himself. I think he's been up and down. Like, goaltending's so weird, and it's circumstances. Like, I'm sure playing in front of this or behind this defense with the U.S. is a different ballgame and all of that. But I did find it intriguing that Swayman was the number 2 today. And with the back-to-back games on Saturday and Sunday, I would expect Hellebuck to be back in goal probably against Denmark on Saturday. But then does that mean Swayman is going to start one of those two back-to-backs? And if so, do you find it as intriguing as I do that the Otter is the odd man out?
100%. Because in my mind, it was Otter. I mean, it was even a very close, could it be Otter over Hellebuck, given that Hellebuck was injured earlier this year, right, for a decent length of time. So that's how I approached this Olympic situation. That's how I kind of looked at it, like, oh, and even Team USA was kind of playing coy as like, all right, we'll tell you tomorrow who our goalie is, making it seem like there was a tighter decision. So to have Otter as that third guy is incredibly curious. Now, given what you saw the defense was capable of doing too, maybe they're just thinking that Swayman plays better behind a defense like that. I don't really know what the thought process is. I go Otter. I adored that guy. I think he's phenomenal to watch. I think he's so good. Minnesota boy. He plays for my the Dallas Stars. All of that.
Just say it. You're a Dallas Stars fan. It's the biggest turncoat thing that you could do to a guy that you supposedly are friends with, who was abandoned by this team.
I know. It's just good. He's just a good goaltender, right? I mean, it's the Winnipeg Jets on the other side. So what are you looking at? Either way, you can't win. But yeah, I would be shocked if they don't go Ottinger, but I guess maybe they have a different rationale, and I would love to hear it, because I'm sure that's a question that all media would ask, like, why are we going this route? Why are we going Jeremy Swayman? And that's not to take away anything from Jeremy Swayman, but he's the third goalie on this roster. That's point blank, period.
My question would be, are they sharing maybe the mindset of what we saw at the World Juniors for the USA Hockey, where the game against Sweden on New Year's Eve, they go to the high schooler?
I hope not.
Well, that didn't work out.
It didn't work out, but do you think there is a conglomerate, like, behind the scenes where they're maybe taking the stance of, if we can realize that there's not really a test in the preliminaries, they clearly can probably see there's not a big test in the preliminaries, and they're already doing the whole, we're staying at the Village, we're not going the Canada route, going to the 5-star hotel and getting away from everything. We are going for the experience. Are they thinking maybe we're going to dress you, Swayman, get you the experience, and you were the Olympian on the bench for the first game against the good old Latvians, and now once we get to the Danes and the Germans, then you can take a back seat. I'm not sure.
Interesting philosophy. I mean, that's a possibility.
I don't know.
Because I got no indication going into the tournament that it might be that Ottinger might be behind Swayman. I mean, it sounded pretty crystal clear that Swayman was going to be the 3. But yeah, I mean, he dresses as the backup, and then perhaps Ottinger plays on Saturday or Sunday. Jessi, I suppose that's possible.
I suppose that's possible. You know what's even more exciting than goaltender talk? Kirsten Krull, now joining us.
There she is.
Made it through traffic. What's up, Kirsten? How we doing?
Hi, guys.
There we go. We got her.
Well, I mean, I'm here. I was just out of rush hour traffic, so about as good as it can be. Happy to be here now. Happy to be home in my comfy chair, and yeah, and a USA win. How about that, eh?
Yes, exactly right.
How about that, she says. Goodness gracious.
Speaking of that's a pretty good Canadian team too, but we'll talk about that more at some point. What were your thoughts? Because like they won convincingly, they didn't get off to a great start. The second period they dominated, but like just for a first game of what essentially amounts to an all-star team, your thoughts on what you saw?
I mean, I thought it was super exciting. You come away with the win, first time USA men's team comes out, which is exciting in and of itself. Some of the biggest takeaways, Brock Nelson, he had a great game, but also I want Tage Thompson on my team first and foremost. Like anything that man does, I'm just like, I wish I could see that man in a Wild uniform.
I don't disagree, right? Like I think it's not only does it make me more grateful that Quinn Hughes is in a Minnesota Wild uniform. I think that looked phenomenal. Again, I go back to Brock Faber. I thought he looked really good. Boldy's getting there. I'm not worried about Boldy's performance, and I think he made some really good plays then down the road too, aside from that mishap again in that first period. But yeah, it makes me want to Tage Thompson. I don't need a Vincent Trocheck maybe so much anymore, and I don't need a Jack Hughes maybe so much anymore. Brady Tkachuk, I don't know, starting to look a little bit more appealing to me, but from the U.S. standpoint, it's all about Tage Thompson, I think.
I got a question. Do you guys think that the Tkachuks have a death wish? Because like you're playing Latvia, right? And like they're fine, whatever. But this should be a game where it's like it's not time to. I mean, Brady especially today got steamrolled once. That mid-ice collision, it's like, dude, just lay off right now. Like they were already concerned about him being hurt, and I think fortunately he was not. But like their style of play is just like, oh my God, you're going to get yourself killed here. And like the team needs you, dudes. Like for the Canadian game, knock on wood, they need you. Just be a little bit more cautious. I'm not telling you not to play hard. I am saying that mid-ice collision is like, he's not getting up from that.
I feel like the Tkachuk brothers both play like every single day is their last day on this earth.
It really is.
Right?
Yes. That's well put.
They're the freight train that nobody can stop, right? Like, wasn't there a movie about Denzel Washington trying to stop the train or whatever? And you're like, oh, you can't do it. Not going to be able to. What
was that?
You know
Is that a taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3? Is that a reference to that movie?
I don't remember what it was. It was something where I think he had to stop a train, not like with his body, but like be the conductor and stop it. And that's Mike Sullivan maybe trying to pull the right wrenches. But I also saw, again, going back to that Canada game this morning, tons of hitting there, heavy hitting going on in that too. And maybe it's the smaller ice surface as well. Those 3 feet make a difference. So those hits are a little bit quicker, a little bit harder, and a little bit more aggressive. But also that's the way they play. And I love it. You can't knock them for playing the way that you love to watch them play too, even if they need to tweak it. Now, again, this is a great game for them to really watch tape and be like, hey guys, we're gonna do this, that, and the other thing. I like them together on a line, though. I will say that.
Real quick thought while we're talking about heavy hits, and forgive me if you guys talked about this. Clearly, I don't know. I was on the road. But speaking, kind of like taking a little bit of a tidbit from USA over to Canada and heavy hitting, can we just talk about how I believe it was Marchand who made this comment? I don't remember which player exactly it was, but he goes up to Tom Wilson, is like, hey, buddy, great hit out there on that shift. And he goes, that wasn't me. That was Connor McDavid.
So he just missed he didn't know who he was playing with?
No, I think it was just the style of hit. He thought it was Tom Wilson, and then he was like, no, that was Connor McDavid.
Wow. Yeah. I did see Tom Wilson throw a hit. I forget. It might have been in the second period where where he 100% went head hunting. I will say this. I feel like in the games that I've seen, the officiating has not been nearly as tight as I feared.
Yeah.
Like they're calling things, some slashes, but I feel like there's been some penalties where previous, like a check that's near the head or something like that. It's not what I thought, which 100% is going to be a benefit to the US and Canada, I think. So like when Tom threw that hit, I'm like, he's going to get called. That's a major. And it was 0-0.
What did you all think about the challenges at this in that first period? Because I think a lot of people online, at least that I saw, were like shocked and appalled that the goalie interference one was at least called back. Which I don't know. This is what I was fearing heading up to these games, which is the IIHF rulebook is so much more strict about things than the NHL is. But I did see, even before the Latvian goal, the elbow to the head of Austin Matthews, even though I think he maybe embellished a little bit, that went uncalled. So they have backed off a little bit, but the two challenges I thought were really interesting, that the discourse online about them kind of was back and forth.
I just hate the ability to challenge things because it never goes the way of the team that I'm cheering for or actively caring about, right? Like, I just hate, like, oh, of course we're going to throw a challenge. Oh, of course we're going to do a challenge. Like, because sometimes it seems like a very desperate. Now, I will admit, I did not know the IIHF rulebook on goaltender interference, because then that is textbook based on how the IIHF officiates games like that. As much as we might call that softer, that in the NHL, you're probably getting away with that, because it wasn't like he was completely interfering with Elvis by any stretch, but IIHF rules indicate and state you may not touch the goalie. He is off limits. It's like Tom Brady, right? Like, you're not touching him. Stay away from that man in the crease. Fine and well. This is offsides in general. Let's go back to the playoffs. Let's run it back to the playoffs last year. Oh, we're going to throw an offsides challenge in there because maybe he was. There's an offshoot chance. And then, obviously replay shows he is. Like, it's the right call, but it just sometimes to me screams desperation. Like, oh no, we can't go down. And you saw what a momentum changer that was. They recall that Quinn Hughes goal. Latvia goes down and scores as a response, and all of a sudden the momentum is completely shifted. Then they recall the next goal, and you're like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, it's frustrating to watch, but at the end of the day, good on the coaches to make that call and be able to keep the momentum at least in their favor for a little bit longer before the US took control again.
Yeah, I guess in my opinion, challenges on goaltender interference in IIHF play doesn't bug me as much as it does in the NHL, because in the NHL, there's no consistency across the board whatsoever. So anytime there's a goaltender interference challenge or ruling in the NHL, that makes me so mad because it's so different every single time.
Right.
Now, offside, that is just frustrating every single time to me.
So frustrating. Just nightmares.
And offside, it's like these incredibly close, like they're so close. Like I've thought to myself the last 5 years or so, how many thousands of goals in the history of the National Hockey League wouldn't count if we could go back and fix those calls?
Right.
And it's like small stuff, or in the second period with the long change, if a guy comes off on the wrong side, he can come off or go offside, and that gets called. But yeah, I sort of felt like the goaltender interference call today was fine because, and by the way, also, JT Miller, Brock Nelson had the screen. Mm-hmm. Like they were double screening the goaltender. It's like, you don't need to double screen the goaltender because Brock got that tip. That was a gorgeous tip. Like, I don't think that goal, I don't think that if Merzlikins could have seen that tip, he stops that puck regardless. Yeah. So it's like, you didn't need that. But yeah, again, I'll go back to what I said before. The first game is always sort of a feel it out game. I mean, these guys have no time. It's not like they get to play games, exhibition games. They're all thrust together for a couple of practices. So my judgment is going to be far more withheld for how things start to gel, because you could sort of see some things today, but I mean, this is far from a finished product. And I think my question is this: in the 3 games that they're going to play in the preliminary round, are they going to be able to get enough time and work together so that when you start to play the real teams here, it's going to come together? Or is it not, because you basically have played 3 or at least 2 patsies? It might not be 3. Germany might, but I mean, it's two patsies to start the tournament.
I'm just glad to see the gel for the power play is looking good. 2 power play goals today. I'd be concerned because, I mean, we talk about like NHL wise in the playoffs, how important those special teams are. If those are already off and running and you're getting 2 goals, granted it's Latvia, so I'm taking it with somewhat of a grain of salt, but it's 2 power play goals. That's good because I'd rather have that hitting the ground running in game 1 rather than you're looking to still figure things out against Germany. Then who knows who you're playing in the medal rounds.
I think the biggest thing I want to remind, like, throw out Four Nations. I need everybody to throw out whatever happened at Four Nations. I need everybody to throw out what they think they know about these players individually. It's such a different animal at the Olympics. I mean, you're looking at what Slovakia did to Finland yesterday, right? Sweden looked kind of human. Canada is the one that's showing they are who we all thought they were. But as much as we want it to be a cakewalk, the U.S. is going to have to work harder than I think anybody anticipated for them. Yes, they should melt through, but there's still something holding me back, Judd. I'm telling you, and Kirsten knows this too. Like, I'm a little concerned. I didn't love the game. I didn't love the game.
Are you worried or actually
worried.
pessimistic?
I'm anxious. I'm just super anxious. I'm so anxious. Like, I need this. I need them to win gold. I need it. I need it, but there's something that's holding me back. And I think, again, I wanted 4 goals in the first period. I wanted another 3 in the second. Like, there should have been no reason that couldn't have happened. And it just reminds you that the Olympics, anything is possible, right? You got all these other guys who are talented, and maybe Denmark surprises everybody. Maybe Germany and Nico Sturm. I don't know.
Part of me feels like you need to just drink a big glass of water and take a few deep breaths and settle down.
It can be like every day of my life.
You were like almost hyperventilating in that spiel right there. That was a lot.
Because I hate it. Because you guys know me. You've seen me all decked out in my USA. I've got 3 USA hockey jerseys. I've got a ton of different garb.
I've never seen it. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's lies. It's just lies. And I love it. But I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
I don't think that you should be like if they lose any of these first 3 games, I mean, it's a USA Hockey panic alarm. Yeah. Like they absolutely should not. Now should they score 10 goals? Maybe. I don't know. But I mean, seriously, Germany's going to be an improvement on teams. But like, if you are nervous about Denmark or today,
just think anything can happen.
I don't know what to tell you.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, but it sort of did. I mean, Latvia, I thought, played a nice game. They're just, those teams are not in the class of the U.S., Canada, probably Sweden. Like, Sweden didn't look great in game 1, but they're really, really good. Gus didn't look great. I mean, that first goal was terrible. But all of that being said, calm down.
That's the other problem. See, then you got Boldy. He's going to lose his confidence. Gus is going to lose his confidence. They're all falling apart. The Wild aren't going to.
You make me seem like a ray of sunshine.
No, because they can always just call up Sammy H. Samuel Levi. I mean, he basically beat the Dallas Stars yesterday.
It was incredible.
Great
Love
point.
it.
How bad is the defense down in Iowa?
It's so bad. Like that.
Did I write this
top
down?
to bottom is so bad. Like that man stopped 38 of 39 shots on elite goal scorers. Like it was nothing. And now I got to say, I talked to him at training camp because he was cut pretty late into training camp. Like you obviously knew Jesper and Gus were the guy, but I mean, he stuck around for a while to the point where we actually did an interview with him. And that kid has some serious swagger. I remember asking him, I was like, oh, who's got the hardest shot to stop out here? Is it Krull? And he goes, no one. And he was like dead serious. Like this man was like, no, I stopped them all. And then kind of gave a little smirk. And I was like, you're awesome. Like I am signed up for you. This is great.
I love that so much. But also too, I think as a Wild fan watching the Olympics, you're really excited knowing we've got another goaltender to really add into the mix here. And it especially makes you more excited and comfortable if the Wild do decide to do something with Jesper before the deadline here. So
this kid is get this to answer AJ's question. He is 44th in save percentage, 884, and 46th in goals against, 333 in 18 games. The rankings are in the American Hockey League. He has even played a game with the Iowa Heartlanders in the ECHL. Like they demoted him at one point for a game. So this could be one of the most remarkable stories. And I know that the Iowa Wild's not good again, but like this dude is a sieve. And you're right. That first game, 38 saves against Finland. Really, really good team.
Did you say he's
Olympics are
40?
just different.
Did you say he's 44th in save percentage in a league in the AHL with 32 teams?
I don't know what the teams are, but he's
that's
44th
what I'm saying.
and he's 46th in
Like,
GAA.
Because Cal Peterson's, I mean, you got two goalies.
Yeah,
rolling through the AHL, right?
But you'd
Technically.
like to think that for qualified games, he'd at least be in the top 32. 44 is incredible.
I know, but he was great yesterday.
Yeah, no, that good for him. Like that, but now I'm concerned about the defensive depth of the Minnesota Wild hockey organization.
Oh God, I think the Iowa team is just awful. Like again, they're awful.
Yeah. Anyways, but good for him. That's a great story.
No, I was happy. I was content until Judd decided to bring out the big notepad with all the stats. Now I'm sweating a little bit.
I know,
got my
right?
notepad here. I got notes here from the game. In fact, you know what? Shout out, Matt Boldy didn't do a lot offensively, but that first period he saved a goal.
Yeah, he
They
did.
go down 2-1. That dude put his face in front of a puck. Now, I think it deflected off his stick, but that was like the defensive play of the game, and that came from Boldy.
And he like threw his stick, didn't he? Almost like, didn't he kind of
Maybe.
chuck it a little bit? I think like not, just it was a very desperate effort, but great foresight from Mr. Matt Boldy, who I need to see him score some goals, pot some goals, do a little something.
You're just not going to be happy here. I don't know what to tell you.
I'll be happy when there is a gold medal around their
Well,
neck.
I don't disagree with you on
right?
this.
Like,
Yeah.
that's, I can't trust it until I witness it. And again, you're right. I probably am putting too much stock in what I saw today, but I didn't see enough for me to be like, yep, see, this team's going to go great places. This is the next, great 1980 squad. Like, no, I don't know. Although that 1980 squad tied Sweden to start their opening game. So I guess maybe, or right?
And they're also college kids, yes.
Sweden. Who we playing, Rammer?
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Suter's dad, who's passed away now, I believe scored the tying goal late.
Yeah, correct.
We love that.
I know my 1980 Lake Placid hockey team, okay? Because I wasn't there, but I was alive, unlike the rest of this show.
I know before yesterday's games opened, like the U.S. was the second, like in sportsbook favorites to win the gold.
Yes.
I don't know about you all, but based on what Canada looked like, the gap has now widened for me. Because USA didn't have a bad game by any means, but Canada looked so good against another nation that I hold value in for like their hockey prowess. And they just kind of steamrolled. So I'd like, if you're banking on all this stuff for a gold medal, Jessi, I feel like you're just setting yourself up to be really disappointed.
I mean, I told you I don't think they're going to medal at all. So that's
true.
kind of it's
which I think
feeding
is-
that anger. I'm just saying. Maybe Slovakia is the next big. Maybe it's Canada, Sweden, Slovakia. We don't know.
Kirsten, if they don't medal, like they're not on that stand, to me, you got to examine everything about the program, right? Like there's a difference. Okay, it would be, I think it's time to win a gold. I think that's great. I mean, my God, it's been since 1980 for the Olympics and 96 for the World Cup of Hockey. But how astounded, Kirsten, would you be if they don't win a medal? Because I would be absolutely flabbergasted.
I'd be astounded. I think this USA squad, although some people have their opinions on who should have and shouldn't have made the team, this team, the way it's comprised, they should be on that podium at the end, regardless of what medal is going to be around their neck. Now, I don't think anyone's beating Canada. That Canadian team is going to haunt me in my dreams, and their top power play unit is also going to. I mean, there was an article that I read today, and it wasn't even an article. It was a tweet, and it's worth rephrasing here. And it went on to say, this is the greed they talked about in the Bible. And it was goal from Nathan McKinnon, assisted by Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid. Like, just ridiculous. And then you look even further, they've still got Macklin Celebrini, who's just been single-handedly carrying the San Jose Sharks all season. And you've still got a Cale Makar. So I don't think anyone is beating Canada. I think outright, unless something drastic happens, they're coming away with gold. But there's no reason why this U.S. squad can't take silver or bronze.
Agreed completely. I do think so the one thing I will say, because I agree with you, Canada looks like a juggernaut. I mean, the fact that Crosby is still this good is just stupid. But he is, credit to him. The only thing I would say about a Canada matchup is this. The Binnington season has been so bad, and he's such a freak. Now he's really good in big games, but he's such a loose cannon. I mean, dude's
A freak in a bad way. Let's clarify. Like he's not a.
oh
freak
no, he's
in
no, he's freaky as far as like he loses his mind. To me, if they do play, that would come down to goaltending. Can Hellebuck, who has struggled in the playoffs as well, but can you get him to outplay Binnington? And forgive me, Jessi, but in the Four Nations a year ago, you came pretty close. Yeah. So like that would be my only thing. Could you get the goaltending advantage? Because I'm with you, skaters, Canada. It's. Don't get me wrong. The U.S. is good. Canada looks to be great.
It's incredible. That top power play unit, I think it's 6 Stanley Cups in between them and then 7 medal, like something insane, right? Just absolutely, mostly because father Sidney Crosby has done all of this in this time. Yeah. I love everyone calling him dad in all of those photos. Like it looks like just a proud dad standing by his kids. Like we're at another hockey tournament.
Like on a field trip. That was a great one.
I mean, Sweden's full of NHL players too, so that's where I give Sweden its flowers. Like there's those 3 teams that are only NHL guys, right? It's US, Canada, and Sweden. Goaltending would be your one advantage. And again, defensively, like Cale Makar's incredible, obviously, on the back end, but Brock Faber, Quinn Hughes, Jacob Slavin, and Charlie McAvoy too, because you forget Charlie McAvoy didn't get to finish last year at Four Nations either. So keeping him in and healthy is going to be huge advantage for Team USA. I'm still kind of panicking. I'm still a little sweaty just thinking about how poorly this could go and how this could go sideways, because that's what you do. You just think of all the possible ways it could go sideways for you in life. It's bad.
This is where Bill Guerin built he built a team and made some tough decisions to try to beat that superstar caliber team, right? We're not going to see it, unfortunately. Like there's a chance that we don't see them go head to head, and the master plan is sorry, what was that?
That's a crime.
Oh, right.
If they don't play, it's a crime. I'm serious.
Yeah. No,
the World Juniors, they didn't play. Another crime.
Yeah.
It was a crime. Also, we're talking about how much of a sorry, I don't know, maybe it's gonna sound weird, just how insane Binnington is. We're also forgetting we have both Tkachuk brothers on Team USA.
That's a good point.
Like I feel the Tkachuk brothers definitely match that level of freak.
That's probably
they do.
You're probably right. They seem like more fun than Jordan, but you're probably right. Well, and if you play Canada, you 100% want the Tkachuks to get in Binnington's head, right?
Yeah.
Oh
God, yeah.
That's where I think he'd lose.
That's really fun though. Like
that's where he
like so much fun.
And I will say this on Sweden, like, and God bless them, it's two of the Wild's guys. I don't know what I think of Sweden's goaltending for a tournament this big.
Gus looks, I don't want to say problematic, but he didn't look great. I mean, that save percentage didn't do him any favors alone. Sure. He was at 50% for a long time. I think he had to settle in. Interestingly enough, and I can't imagine this is continuing to be a problem. So Gus had tried out his Swedish pads at 2 practices for the Minnesota Wild. And I like to, shoot the shit with the guys sometimes and just kind of chat with them on the side. And I'd asked him, like, how long does it take to break in a pair of pads? And he's like, probably usually 2 to 3 practices or games or whatever. And I was like, well, how do these feel? And he's like, awful. And I think it, like, that was super interesting, right? And I had mentioned that to our, I know, but I have to imagine he's worked them in now. So I don't think that's a problem. But both times I spoke to him afterward, I'm like, how do they feel now? He's like, still not great. And I was like, interesting. Like, the ones that he's probably so accustomed to wearing, obviously the Minnesota Wild, those are so worn to perfection to where he's comfortable at. I do wonder if that plays a factor, if that equipment in general changes things for him. Probably not enough to excuse any poor performances. And again, they came back and won and Sweden did fine, but just an interesting little tidbit.
There's stuff like
that's really
there's stuff like that with, like, I don't know, just to put it in normal people terms, like when you buy new shoes. Sometimes you like how they look, and the international stuff, it looks great. You're like, this is awesome, going to represent my country. But then you wear them a couple times, and you're like, they don't really feel as good as they did in the store. I'm thinking about it now, and then it's like this back of your mind, and okay, well, I'll wear them again, I'll break them in. But then it's all you think about. And granted, goalie equipment and shoes are not even close to being the same thing, but he's maybe thinking about that in the back of his head. Like, these are just, I got to cater to brand new padding. How's my rebounding going to be? If I kick it out, is it going to go to the corner like I want? Or is the angle going to maybe shift it out to the faceoff dot? And that little angle is going to be the difference between a secondary attempt. I'm not going to look into it too much just because I think I'm cutting him more slack for that game against Italy than maybe some other people are, because I think the play in front of him at times also wasn't the best. Like,
Yeah.
I think it was two goals on 4 shots was like the screenshot grab everybody, got online, and it was, oh my God, how bad are they looking? I don't know if it was necessarily all his fault, but one of them I would chalk up to not on him whatsoever. But it's still just a bad visual overall, especially for the people working during the day, and then the box score watches at the end, like, oh, look how bad Gustafsson was.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait for game 2 to really hold my judgment there.
Yep. That's fair. I just had to bring it up.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Talk to that man.
The first goal was really weird. The first goal looked like something was like that's the one where he like tried to stop it. Like it was just coming in. He made, and he did, but then it bounded away. Like that looked like an equipment thing.
It could have been, because the second
he
was off
dropped
the
his
weird
stick.
line.
He
The
freaked
second
out.
the second allowed goal was on the line change, right? Where it was just a bad change by Sweden. So
Yes.
there was not much he could have done on that one, I don't
Yes.
think. Yeah. And it could have been. And it's funny because Jesper, on the flip side, who also had to break in pads, and I'd only seen him do it once, he's like, no, they feel okay. Like he didn't tear. And they know the goalies get to pick. They're still within the same lane of brand, because I know that's a huge difference maker. It's like skates, like switching from Bauer to CCM or whatever. So it's still the same brand of pads that he wears during the regular season, but
Sure, they're just stiff.
they're just a little stiff, I think. That's how that goes. All right, guys, I'm going to run because I have a hot date with my husband this evening, but I know you guys will finish it up. Before I go, I want to remind you guys to all go to North American Banking Company. Bank on that, unlike I'm banking on wins for Team USA sometimes. North American Banking Company made switching banks so easy, hassle-free. Mobile banking, online banking. But when I want to talk to a person, any of the 6 Twin Cities locations has me covered for that face-to-face value. I love it. They have been so fun to work with. So happy I'm banking there. Go to nabankcode.com. That's nabankcode.com to learn more, or visit a location near you. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Again, NorthAmericanBanking.com. All right, you guys enjoy the rest of the show.
Have fun, Jess. Bye. Oh, she's gone. That was quick.
Out like a
that.
flash.
Irish goodbye right there, huh? That was a quick
know.
goodbye. Quick
Was
goodbye.
it
Could be as quick of an exit as the USA team if they run into some real competition after the preliminaries. I'm still nervous about that. I'm
Sure,
really
yeah.
nervous that they're going to run into actual competition and then just not have any plan. Or
not sure.
maybe that's a irrational fear. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always that chance that you run into. I mean, we even, again, much smaller scale than the Olympics, but World Juniors, US and Canada, both facing earlier exits than we thought, namely the US. So
yeah.
it's always possible, but we're going to manifest that it's not.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like I see, I see some certainly reason to be concerned, but I see that about all teams. And like the one thing is, I will say, and this is certainly not exclusive to the US team, is when you do get into a single elimination format, you can get goalied.
Yeah.
Like a guy can stand on his freaking head and you can have 45, 50 shots and lose. But I just need to see this team play more. Like the one thing when people talk about the 80 team, right? Gold medal and all of this. Okay, 1, college kids, different thing. But 2, Kirsten, my biggest thing there is this. They spent a whole winter fall and winter playing exhibition games. So that was a team. Like, this is not a team. This is an all-star, and this is true for Sweden and Canada too. This is an all-star collection. So it's not like these guys, you put the lines together and they've got a system. It's literally a ton of great hockey players who aren't familiar, for the most part, unless they're teammates in the National Hockey League, with each other's game. So when we talk about like Herb Brooks and stuff, well, Herb Brooks had a team. Mike Sullivan doesn't here. What he's got is a ton of good players who haven't practiced together, and until today, really hadn't played a game at least as a complete unit forever. So it's to me, it's a very different conversation. As much fun as the 80 team is to talk about, just a completely different thing.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And then not to mention too, you've had some juggling of positions for some of these players too. Guys that are normally playing center, they're playing at the wing right now, or guys that are normally top line guys on their squad, they're playing third, fourth line right now. So you've got that juggling going on as well too, and just everyone fitting in with different guys that they're normally accustomed to playing against. They might know their style and how to go up against them, but how do you play alongside them now too? So yeah, definitely a great point to bring up as well.
Yeah. So, but I'm not that worried yet.
Stealing from the verbiage from Miracle and Herb Brooks is like, do they have enough talent to win on talent alone? Against Latvia, Denmark, Germany? Absolutely. I'm not super worried there. But if they try to rely on just their sole talent against Canada, if hopefully we get that matchup, that's where I think goalie-wise, yes, Hellebuyck is the, like Judd, you pointed out, Hellebuyck takes that category. But if you go line by line by line, I just feel like the firepower and the sheer talent it's not a huge gap, but it's enough to where I don't think they can rely on that. And that's where the lack of being a team and it's an all-star makeup is where they're going to fall a little short.
I think too, it's going to be huge to kind of see putting our trust in Bill Guerin's expertise when he built this team, because that was some of the biggest criticisms that he faced was, if you want the best players, this team is not comprised of the best players. Like, you don't have a Jason Robertson on the squad was one of the biggest critiques. But then Bill Guerin countering, if that were the case, you wouldn't need a general manager, which I loved that point. But we're going to really see here in some of these potential matchups how fit this U.S. team is built for this competition.
And I do think the one thing to keep in mind too, especially during these 3 preliminary round games, is how much can you develop, not just a chemistry, but I think to beat Canada, you're going to have a plan. Like, I don't think that you can just throw guys out there, throw a puck out there and say, I hope that we win and our goaltender plays great. I think there's going to be at least some type of plan. I do think a U.S. Canada game will at least partially, if there's like a pie chart of responsibility, I think that game in particular would come down a little bit to coaching and to like what your plan is. And I will say again too, if they don't play, it's a crime. Like, my God, how can we not see that? Like, in watching that Canadian team today and then the U.S. and what we know about that team, give me that game. In fact, you know what? Just have them play 3 times right now.
Best of 3.
Forget this. You know what? Sweden and Finland, those teams can play for the bronze. Give me Canada and the U.S. best 2 of 3, because I think it would be great fun.
That's where Team USA sort of being a family affair is nice too for the chemistry. I mean, not that Canada doesn't have it, because obviously like McKinnon and McCarr play together 82 games every season plus playoffs. Sidney Crosby's played with everybody on this roster before, maybe with the exception of Macklin Celebrini, like at some certain things. I guess they wouldn't have. But you saw it on the Tkachuk goal where Matthew, nice little saucer pass to Brady, and he fires to beat Merzlikins for the first goal. And now I can picture them probably going back to their bunk beds later at the Village. Hey, Brady. Yeah, Matthew. Remember that pass earlier? Oh yeah, that was so good, Brady. That was a good. Like they're going to be doing that.
The secret Quinn knock.
Yeah. Hey guys, it's me.
Hey Quinn, what's going on, man?
Hey, me and Jack brought the Atari. Can we come on in and we can stay up all night and drink Gatorade?
Atari, the PS30.
What they don't even know what that is. They're younger than me. But the chemistry, I think at times we saw it come out for Team USA today. Like Jack and Quinn linked up on a few very nice drop passes. The chemistry that I thought was shocking was on the 4th line, which I think might have been their best line of the day. As much as I don't want to give any credit to JT Miller right now, but Brock Nelson and Jack Hughes looked incredible together. Hughes' playmaking ability, I think I forget sometimes how good he is, and I had questions about his health coming into this Olympic Games, but he looked tremendous today. Brock Nelson, as much as I like to just rag on him for how old he looked like a 24-year-old with how much he was kind of weaving in and out. He seems to be, I mean, this is where the age maybe shows. He's got the veteran presence of, I know where the play is going to be. I know where I have to be. and he seemed to be always in the right spot, whether it's the trailer on his second goal, the goal that got taken back, he cut in, I guess he was just a smidge offsides, but he is playing in the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
That fourth line to me is, like I said, I'll jump in. I'll save my like full A+ grade until I see a little bit more against some tougher competition. But top to bottom, I was very impressed, more so with that fourth line than anybody else today.
I'm with Kirsten here, though. Tage Thompson. Give me some more Tage Thompson.
I
That's
wanted him on the Wild in a Wild sweater for like the last 2 years before it was maybe even a conversation on if it was a possibility to acquire Tage Thompson. Now, I'm not saying it is, and Buffalo's not in a position where they're going to be, especially right now with how they've been playing, looking in at a playoff spot. They're not going to get rid of him, but it's a great dream to have. Like, what a player.
He is fun. Now, was he injured or just not playing great at the Four Nations time? Because he was not on the U.S. team last season, and it was talked about a lot. Because, I mean, that dude can play. He's got the great size. There's just a lot of things about him, and that goal was gorgeous. That I was surprised that he didn't make that team in particular, but I forget if he was hurt or not at that time too.
I think it was an injury. I could be wrong. I'd have to go back and look, but I
Yeah.
want to say it was an injury because I feel overall he's been a very consistent player.
Yeah. All right. Final thoughts before we wrap here, you guys. Let's start with Kirsten.
Final thoughts. I'm excited. I'm really excited about this tournament. I mean, it's early on. It's the first game that's been played. We haven't even gotten to medal rounds or anything.
Jessi's already a mess, so
she's already a mess. I don't know. I'm excited. I really do think USA. I honestly, I see silver. I see silver, but Canada with the gold. That Canada team, like I mentioned earlier, they're going to haunt me at night. Just scary, but it also makes me nervous thinking of those two teams. If it does come to a fruition where they'll face off, it scares me because I know how hard all of those guys would play, and that what scares me is injuries.
Yes.
So
you.
I kind of almost don't want to see that for that perspective.
Well, let's just not have Quinn Hughes. I don't care about the rest of the players. Quinn Hughes, Boldy, and Brock. Okay, let's just keep them as healthy as possible.
Bubble wrap.
And Eriksson Ek too in Sweden. That one really concerns me the most of all of the Wild guys playing, because Eriksson Ek, he's got some Kachuk to him. That dude has like no like shifting down gear. He's always going full speed.
If I see Quinn Hughes go knee on knee with a Latvian beet farmer, like in a 5-1 game again, I'm going to lose my mind.
I got a text right away.
Yeah, I dropped everything. I was like, oh my God, there's goes the Wild season. It's all over. These next two games, there's not a lot I think we can maybe take from. Germany is the test, but at that point, it's like multiplication tables, if anything. It's not super hard of a test, but I don't know if some of the guys on the USA team are able to do multiplication tables, so maybe it'll be tougher than I think. So we'll see. Well,
you're
I'm
probably
just saying.
not wrong.
I
mean, I'm not that good
they're
at
hockey
math
players.
I'm not that good at math myself, so
Yeah,
I'm not going
absolutely.
to throw stones here. All right, we are we're done. I think we're going to try to do this again next week as well. So do a live show again after the U.S. probably plays a much tougher game. We'll wait and see, because they obviously play Denmark, then Germany on Sunday, and then there's a preliminary round which they might be able to avoid, and then of course we get into the good stuff. Appreciate you joining us. For Jessi, who right now is probably sipping a glass of wine, for Kirsten, for AJ, I'm Judd. We'll talk to you on the Bar Down Beauties channel. How about that, folks?